struggles on limited resources, money, people, or machinery, but your talk suggests the real issue lies elsewhere. Can you share why resourcefulness matters more than
Great question. First of all, I think maybe let me differentiate between resources and resourcefulness. And here lies the dilemma of the SMEs, right? Now, resources are the traditional resources. We're talking about the 5 M's: money, machine, materials, manpower, and methods, right? Resourcefulness, on the other hand, are like creativity, innovation, determination, resolve, hard work. And here lies the dilemma where SMEs are smaller companies compared to the big boys, the giants. So the flip side of it is that instead of focusing on resources, we want to find a new base of competition, which is resourcefulness. So SMEs should go into areas to encourage, to build talents so that people are creative, innovative, and have that strong resolve to achieve their goals despite the challenges.
you work with Malaysian SMEs that thrive despite constraints? What is the most surprising example of strategy turned into strength?
Okay, so instead of naming all the small companies, some of the names will be sensitive. So I'm going to quote a story of how David defeated Goliath, the giant, right? So while David is a small-sized guy, 5.5 feet and so on, compared to Goliath, who is 8 or 9 feet. So the difference lies in while Goliath is a giant, he has the armor, he's got the javelin, whereas David has to think of a creative strategy. So David actually used a sling and a stone. So with a sling and stone, David can be from afar and can actually shoot Goliath right in the middle of his forehead, and he fell. And that's how David slaughtered, Goliath. So if you think about this story, how it relates to, SMB compared to big giants, big corporates, they have to think of a better strategy. David is very agile, David is very accurate, great skills. So now if you think that if you lack resources, right, you lack resources compared to the big boys, the SME should be more resourceful in terms of coming up with more creative skills, innovation to beat those giants. And in the past, we have, companies, examples, the Apples, the Microsoft that started from the garage and beat the IBM. That so there's a lot of stories where the dwarfs beat the giants, right?
You argue that leadership, not lack of resources, is the core problem. How should SME leaders rethink their role in driving growth with what they already have?
Yes, I think number one important key for SME to survive and succeed lies in leadership, and everything else lies in leadership. Leadership, everything falls and rises on leadership. And what I'm talking about here is that one of the challenge is the mindset of leaders. In fact, in my companies, we have done the consulting work, and we came out with this acronym called BACHA. BACHA is BACHA. So one of the things leaders could do to survive in this challenging environment for SME is to address the mindset, and depicted by this BACHA acronym. The first B, the first letter of the BACHA, B, is blind spot. So leaders may have blind spot regarding opportunities, regarding strategies that they miss, opportunity they miss, right? So they have to uncover that blind spot, the first. Second is outdated assumption. A is assumption. So many things they've done which is successful in the past, but not necessarily it will continue because things have become irrelevant. So the leaders have to think about new product, new services, new market. Now the third component of the BACHA mindset is complacency. So sometimes they reach a level where they think they're complacent, they're all good, they don't have to improve. But today we know there are digital, AI, robotics all coming to the picture. So people have to continue to improve. And the fourth component of BACHA is H, habits. They get stuck by doing the same thing over and over again. All right? And even some of the customers may no longer need their products or services, but they continue to produce the same. It becomes a habit. That's what they've been doing for years, the habits. Now, the last component of BACHA is A, attitude. So they can take a positive look at the challenges you face in the industry. Every time you have a new competitor, well, you're going to challenge you to come out with new, better ideas. Every time you have lack of resources, you're going to challenge you to become more creative, innovative. So all this is about leadership, how you lead your team to overcome their challenges.
Can you share one actionable strategy SME can use immediately to do more with less,
Yep.
especially in areas like HR or operations?
I like this term called achieving more but doing less. But I want to give one provoking statement here. You know, a lot of people are working hard, but things are hardly working. You know why? Because maybe they have the wrong strategy, right? For example, if SMEs are focusing on every time addressing their weaknesses, I don't think maybe that's not the right strategy. Maybe they should be focusing on addressing the strengths of the people. Leaders and go around policing here and there in their management style, trying to catch people doing the wrong thing. I don't think that's a good strategy. Why not catch people doing the right thing and enforce it? And that kind of leadership is very inspiring. And you can bring in talents, because today's Gen Y and the millennial, the Gen Z are very different from what we were before. The baby boomer, the Gen X, they are totally different, right? So you got to deal with this in a more innovative way to attract this talent to come, so that people can do much more with less. If you can tap into their talent, if you can get into their passion, there's, much has been criticized about the Gen Y and Gen Z, but they are wonderful people out there who are waiting to be tapped in their creativity. So we need people to tap this so that these people can do more with less resources, tapping into their creativity.
Can SMEs foster a culture of resourcefulness in their team, especially when turnover of skill sets are challenging?
Okay, there are two things. One is that this is a message for all the HR people. Don't just hire people based on the qualification and degrees. Maybe it's time we also hire people. Of course, nothing wrong with degrees and qualification, but more than that, you should hire people based on their passion, their results, right? Their confidence, the risk-taking nature of them. Because this is the kind of thing we're talking about, being resourceful. Now, if you're hired by people, we're hiring those traditional type of graduates who follow instructions, who are reactive, who come here to pick up a paycheck. Maybe we cannot be as resourceful, right now. So that culture of getting people to conform rather than perform, we've got to change the culture altogether if you want a new to attract these young people to come to here and add value.
You will discuss how both SMEs turn your strengths into advantages. What activities you can share about their success?
One of the success formula, I think, is the mindset of the people. Much has been said about the skill set of people, tool set, right? But the mindset is so important. If you can get people to do the seemingly impossible, today's environment is that getting people have the courage to do the seemingly impossible, explore new market, new services, new product, using the latest technology, using AI, robotics. In other words, rather than constrained by old thinking, we should encourage a culture of experimentation. We should allow people to take more risks. We should reward people who take risks and succeed. Those who take risks and didn't succeed, we should not penalize them. We should take that as lessons of experimentation.
Can you share also a bit about your formula of success for BTFAR?
Okay, BTFAR is a story about how a small company, actually operating from one branch, become a huge company with 400 over branches, from one branch with 32 staff, transformed to have 18,000 staff all over the world. And last year in 2024, they make a profit of over 7 billion. I emphasize that 7 billion, not million, 7 billion in terms of pre-tax profit. And that's a transformation. And that BTFR is in one of my books, Lessons of Success. It stands for believe, think, feel, act, and get results. So The idea of resourcefulness is getting people to believe 100% what they're doing, think 100% what they're doing, feel excited, energized, right? 100%, and act 100%, and you get a result 100%. And that is the role of leaders today. If in the SME, you cannot just be giving instruction about the job tasks and the role. You have to go more than describing the tasks and the job, beyond job description. You got to energize people. You got to empower them. You got to enthuse them, excite them with a new culture. A work culture of experimentation, innovation, relying on resourcefulness, and rewarding with incentives and compensation that rewards creativity and innovation rather than just conformance and compliance.
Your session promises to flip the script for SMEs without giving too much away. It was one counterintuitive idea in the very.
Well, if your company, you'll find that a lot of people are working hard, but things are hardly working. If you find that a lot of people know what to do and they don't do what they know, come to this program, come to this convention and this conference, and we will share with you how you can tap into the resourcefulness of your employees and transform your organization.
Why is this message about resourcefulness versus resources especially critical for SMEs to get out?
Okay, so today the way to compete has changed. We cannot continue to, because the environment has changed, the workforce has changed, the policies have changed. So today SME have to be very progressive in their thinking to win the competition. So if we base on the old thinking, old way of leadership, old way of assessing people based on the number of years experience, based on qualification, you will not be able to attract that kind of talent, that kind of skills that have great creativity, innovation, resolve to achieve something outstanding. And that's why SME today have to look at this new model of competition based on resourcefulness rather than just resources.
What can attendees expect to gain from your session at the SME HR Conference 2025? And why shouldn't they listen?
Okay, this is, I think, a chance of a lifetime. I think you should not miss this conference. It's most timely. Things have changed to this extent, and I believe that you come to this conference, you're not only going to be enlightened, you'll be entertained, you'll be energized, you will be empowered to take action, because some of the things we're sharing with you is a flip side of the old, from the old thinking. We're looking at something very new and very exciting that can transform your organization for the better, and you can be achieving more with less and doing the things you're supposed to do. And you don't have to work very hard and things not working, and you just have to work with passion, with resourcefulness, and then get people motivated by the incentives and also the compensation that goes along with this the new culture of innovation. My final point before I go is that don't miss out these opportunities. And you want to know more about the conference, there's a link we're going to leave out here after this session, and you go to the link and sign up before it's too late. Thank you.